Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gosso, the remix.
DMB, Toke Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give it the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took you home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's a beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Smiling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess, such a beauty, I'm impressed. And I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man now. All the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart. With your beauty I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. If you touch as a breeze at night, all I really want in my life. Oh yeah, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Toke Spice. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Toke's, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Do me a favor as you're coming in. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Help me ping everybody else into the room. How we do that is we use the like buttons. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Another week here. What we do here is we cover, we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics from a self-power, social, seduction, attraction, and emotional intelligence standpoint. And you can see our principles. You can download them absolutely for free. We put them in 2 books. Okay, one is for everybody. One is for people that are dealing with struggles in marriage. One is for everybody. Okay, both of them are for everybody. You can download them for free at Man of Prestige. This one is number 1 red flag. This one is Get My Marriage Back. And you can always see the information scrolling on the screen. And yes, we do offer a complimentary coaching session temporarily, so you can reach out to us. Shout out to my sponsors, Mo Fresh. Let me see what's in the chat first of all. Shout out to Priscilla. Good to see you. Is it Priscilla or Priscilla, right? Priscilla. I think it's Priscilla. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to my sponsors, Mo Fresh, Life with Natu Adesua, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Gorex Corner, D-Love 3000, Yes TV, Chidima, Sparkleberry, and Mary Parker. You can also join them. You can become a sponsor on this platform using the join buttons. You can use membership, super chat, all of that. In September, our goal in September is $245.50. That's essentially what we did last month. And we're trying to meet that goal and beat it, right? So this month already $3.23. I want to say thank you for everybody watching, hitting the like button, share, subscribe. It goes a long way. Like I said, you can use super chat, you can use membership, you can use Cash App, which is $ Man of Prestige. You can use Zelle or PayPal using the email address ask@manofprestige.com. Thank you for all the donations. Also, if you can send emails, requests and things like that, using that same email address, ask@manofprestige.com. And you can reach out by WhatsApp text message +1 732 305 8577. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. Betrayed after bringing him to the UK, a marriage nightmare, inspirational marriage advice. We're going to try to cover some legways today as usual. Okay, hit the like button, share, subscribe. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Sorry guys. All right, so we're gonna cover some stories. We're gonna cover Judge Mathis today. We're gonna cover a little bit of Toke Makinwa today, and then we're gonna cover a story that I received by email. We're going to cover that as well today. Okay, so without any further ado, welcome, a little clumsy, but I'm here. I did do an emergency show in the morning, but I'm here, so best believe we're going to have another solid show today regardless. All right, so hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, Includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right, welcome back. Let's watch this short video with the Judge Mathis stuff, and then we'll talk.
How are you today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I want to ask.
I'm not good. Rather, it's the worst days of my life. How about that?
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I wanted to ask you, with news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding.
All right, so hold on one second. So Judge Mathis said it's not good. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, if you remember, we covered the story of Judge Mathis last week here. Judge Mathis is a TV judge, a real life attorney, I think, who news broke out that his wife had filed for divorce last week. Hold on one second. Okay, all right. So I'm covering a video for him from TMZ.
How are you today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I just want to make sure the audio is working good. All right, so last week we found out that the wife filed for divorce, and I think this is the first time some kind of an interviewer is catching up with him and is going to speak to that. So we're going to hear from the horse's mouth. How's that, right? Instead of speculation. At the time, there was some speculation that maybe there was some crazy speculation that he was potentially, I saw a news, something about he was caught in a Diddy's party somewhere, something like that. But he's going to speak to that right now, so let's hear it.
All right. I want to ask.
I'm not good. Rather.
How are you today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
So he said, "How are you today?" He said, "I'm good," and then he corrected it.
I'm doing all right. I want to ask.
I'm not good. Rather, it's the worst days of my life. How about that?
It's the worst day of his life. How about that?
With news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding up very well.
I
would say the other man. Maybe I'll be an example for other men. Cautionary tale. Don't neglect your.
I don't know if you heard that. He said, maybe I will be an example for other men. A cautionary tale. Okay, all right. I'm liking what I'm hearing already, but let's keep going.
Wife. For other men. Cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife.
Don't neglect your wife. Right? Don't neglect your wife. What does neglect mean? Don't neglect your wife. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Are you listening? Okay. Gentlemen, this is for you, especially if you're married. Listen, neglecting your wife does not mean you're a bad man. That's where you guys go wrong for the most part. It doesn't mean you're a bad man, but it can happen to the best of us, right? Let's keep going.
Other man, cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife. See how many at the airport now, flying out, as I have for 40 or for 25 years. My wife has been third.
All right, so if you remember, there was part of the news last week where I think the wife there was somebody close to the camp said the wife was asking for quality time, that she had been asking for him to slow down because he works so hard, always traveling and things like that. So he's also speaking to that. I said, as you can see, I'm at the airport about to fly out again. Now, can you ask a man not to work? Obviously, that's not realistic. But he's acknowledging something here, and we should pay attention more so to what he's acknowledging. Hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like button. I appreciate you for doing that.
Example for other men, cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife.
Don't neglect your wife.
I'm at the airport now, flying out, as I have for 40 or for 25 years. My wife has been third, serving the community, taping my show, having fun.
Wife has been third, he said. Serving the community. Is that what he said? I think so.
My wife has been third, serving the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your life.
Never be too busy and never have too much fun beyond your wife, right? Accountability is the first step. It's a big step, as a matter of fact. It's a step that many people might never experience a partner actually holding themselves accountable, right? But why is it saying that? Is it because it's hit rock bottom, right? So some people will just never listen. So I am sure that it's probably not the first time that the wife had been complaining, but now it's willing to listen, I guess. Let's hope it's not too late. Can we hope it's not too late? Let's keep
I
going.
do want to ask, the data
Not too welcome.
separation is listed back in July 17th. Has this been coming for some time now, or was it something out the blue?
Well, ever since we started taping here in LA, I committed to staying home more and making my wife more of a priority. But as you see, I haven't. I'm still here on the road doing the same thing. And in terms of going out into another city, but I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th meant.
He was gone for 3 weeks, and that's what July 17th meant, right? So I guess the divorce was filed on July 17th. He was gone for 3 weeks. The question was, is this a surprise? Is this something that you've seen coming or something like that? That was the question. Let's go back.
Our taping here in LA.
As the data separation is listed back in July 17th. Has this been
Okay, so separation was listed as July 17th.
coming for some time now, or was it something
Has this been happening for some time now, or what?
out the blue?
Well,
Or just
ever
out of the
since
blues?
we started taping here in LA, I committed to staying home more and making my wife more of a priority. But as you see, I haven't. I'm still here on the road.
He said, as you see, he's committed to, but as you can see, he's still been on the road. So maybe he has contractual agreement that he has to, things like that, right? So, life happens, right? Again, complacency happens to the best of us. This marriage is not something that you really want to be talking about from that place. Like, that person is just the devil. You need to realize that we are our own worst enemies for the most part. Let's keep going.
Doing the same thing. And in terms of going out into another city, but I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th meant.
Would you say you two are in a good place right now, or able to maintain a friendship? Or
Oh yeah, we're still in the same house and we're maintaining a friendship. And I'm trying to get my wife back.
They're still in the same house, they're maintaining a friendship, and he's still trying to get his wife back. Kudos to him. That's all it takes, That's all it takes. Welcome, D. Good to see you. Let's keep going.
I have to show her that though. Hopefully I can show her while we're there together before, and hopefully she doesn't complete the process. But I'm changing in hopes that she will. I'm gonna get my wife back. How about that?
He said, I'm gonna get my wife back. How about that?
I just wanted to eliminate all them rumors too, that it's something about a baby or even me molesting a child. It's none of that. I've just told you what it is.
There were also, kind of some rumors of any infidelity. Did you want to clear that up at all? You say it's solely neglect.
Well, neglect.
Neglect. That answer should have been straight up no, right? But again, it is what it is, okay? But the answer wasn't straight up no. So, body language.
Clear that up at all? You say
They asked him if there was any kind of rule, anything about infidelity.
What it is.
there were also, kind of some rumors of any infidelity. Did you want to clear that up at all? You say it's solely neglect.
Well, neglect can create suspicion.
Okay, so he's just thinking it through. So, but the answer didn't come out straight. Neglect, he's trying to be wise with his words. I can't judge a man for that. But the answer did not come out straight, and that's okay. He said neglect can create suspicion.
Certainly. And if you're gone as much as I am, you have every right to suspect. You go to work, you go serve in the community around the country, then you go with your guys to sporting events around the country.
You go with your guys to sporting events around the country.
You go to other events except without your wife hanging with you and enjoying herself with you. And so, yeah, she would have a right to suspect infidelity.
But there was none of that.
So that's like he's indirectly accusing her of being suspicious, right? Of did you do it, sir, or you didn't do it? Again, I'm not mad at him. I think he did well. He handled himself very well.
That's not the purpose.
He said that's not the purpose.
To suspect infidelity.
But there was none of that going on.
He said, but there was none of that going on. It's a question mark in front of that.
That's not the purpose.
He said that's not the purpose. What does that mean? Your guess is just as good as mine. My own thing is that I like the body language. I like the way he carried himself. And I'm okay with that. Let me know what your thoughts are in the chat, in the comments. What do you think, right? He's fighting. He's going to win his wife back. So that's good enough for me. And I think that's a good start. Accountability is a good start. Accountability is not the same thing as him admitting to infidelity. It's him at least admitting that, you know what, I've taken a part in the breakdown of the relationship and I'm going to win my wife back. To me, that's good enough. Okay. It's not about being perfect. It's about being good enough. And we can't call perfect when we actually have no idea we don't know what happened. We just know that there was neglect. Okay. Now, in terms of neglect, if you're able to acknowledge, then that's a great place to start from. It means you're able to reflect, It means you're able to maintain a certain level of friendship. It means you're also able to validate her feelings, right? That's a good place to start from. It's a good place to start from in terms of taking responsibility, right? It's also a great place, a cleaner slate to start from when it comes to reassessing priorities. It doesn't mean that he actually wants to stay in the marriage. We don't know that yet, right? We kind of know because he said, I'm going to get my wife back, right? But at least if you're able to calm down and be accountable, at least for your own part, it's a lot more easier to rebuild connection because I don't think that connection started breaking down at the point of divorce. I don't think so, or the divorce petition, right? So I also think especially someone like him should seek support from a professional in this type of space. It doesn't matter how smart you are. If you are the perpetrator, if you're one of the subjects in the equation, then you have to you're not able to think straight because your emotions are caught up. So you need a support system, So yes, I am all for him getting his wife back. Good. Mario said they should leave him alone. He's trying to fix it. Wala. Welcome, Mario. Yes. He's a public figure. We're not going to leave him alone. We're going to use him as example. He said men should use him as an example. That's what we're going to do. Just as an example, But do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We have some important topic to cover today. I'll be right back.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. All right, welcome back. Toke Makinwa on modern marriage, the way this generation is set up. All right, so let's talk about that real quick. There's a post on Instablog Nigeria. We're going to talk about that for a few minutes, and then we'll get into the main topic. Priscilla says, the healing starts with him being accountable, but will his wife, you meant wife, I guess the typo, will his wife understand? I wish them the best. 30-something years is a long time. 39 years. The goal is not for the wife to understand, believe it or not. The goal is for her to feel safe and secure enough to decide to stay and work on the marriage, right? She might never understand. It's not really a requirement that she understands either. She just needs to feel safe and secure enough. That's what it comes down to, you know. Um, if she understands and she doesn't feel safe and secure, she won't stay. You get it? If she understands and she doesn't feel safe and secure, she still won't stay. You can present everything for her, all the facts, all the screenshot of the text messages and what you were doing out there. If she still, this is where a lot of men get it wrong. If she doesn't feel safe and secure, she still won't stay. You will just be arguing with your destiny. You'll be like, but I showed you everything. I know. But she doesn't feel safe and secure, she won't stay. I think it doesn't hurt for her to understand, but I don't think it really matters when it comes down to matters of emotions. Interestingly, I should say interestingly, yeah. So let's talk about this Toke Makinwa stuff. Let me see what she typed. She typed something. She typed like a thesis here. You know, she's a media personality in Nigeria, radio person, YouTube person, public figure, a business person. I don't know, something like a body for Jesus, baby, Jesus, baby, Jesus, baby, Jesus, baby, not baby Jesus, Jesus, baby. Yeah. So she's saying something. She's an influencer, so we have to kind of pay attention to what she's saying. She said, funny how the narrative out there is that I hate men, or I'm a man what? I don't know what that word is. Truth is, I love marriage. I love being married. Apparently, some people were shocked about that she loved marriage, eh?
He shock you.
She go explain tire.
We go explain because no evidence.
Anyway, I think I believe her. You know, truth is, I love marriage. I loved being married. I'm a huge advocate for marriage because 2 is better than 1. The way this generation is set up. How's the generation? She said the way the generation is set up. Let's see what she's talking about. Let's continue. We use people and value things. It should be the other way around. We used to value people and things were meant to be used. Our generation is moving like everyone is replaceable. We stopped investing in people because we all think we can find better. Everyone moving like our material things and what society has made us think is real success is what we need to invest in. Wait. Everyone moving like our material things and what society has made us think, I guess, is that real success is what we need to invest in. I'm confused. Way back, it took a community to raise kids. Not anymore. Our walls are so high. Okay. We care more about what we put out. Everyone is all about I. And if you are not getting involved with those who are, and it ends up being one-sided. Interesting. People picking their peace of mind over a collective peace of for all. It can't work. And she said, until we begin to fix it, sadly, a lot of people will settle for life alone with peace over trying to exist in periodic happiness and disposable interaction. Thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. It's been a while. Okay, bye. What do you guys think about what she typed? What do you guys think? She has a point, or does she have a point? No? Maybe we should.
Halfway.
Does she have a point? Let's see. Chinya, welcome, Chinya. Good to see you. Does she have a point? Toke should rest, Pico. She is the generation. We know you want marriage. Wala. She likes marriage. She fell in love with marriage. I never read her book. My wife read her book. Maybe one day I will let her come and do a summary for us here. But let me see what they're saying on Instablog Nigeria. Somebody said people picking their peace of mind over a collective peace for all. Food for thought. Okay. Somebody said, if not for business, sometimes I wish there is no social media, no Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok, no Twitter. This world would have been a better place. Those years when there was no social media, people date genuinely. People date based on love and get married. There wasn't much divorce then, but this social media has destroyed a whole lot of things. Social media all by itself. It has destroyed a lot of minds. Some of us that loves genuinely don't even believe in love anymore. Wait, what? I'm confused. You love genuinely, but you don't believe in love anymore. Is that part of the confusion that social media is creating? She says, so sad. This generation is gone. Support-ila. This this generation is gone. This is the wrong generation for the people who have good hearts. Let me guess, she's the only one that's left that has good heart. Anyway, somebody said, I love marriage as well, but it now feels like a bondage to me nowadays. Okay. Okay, let me just do some. Yeah. Okay. First of all, social media is a form of medium. There's always been media, right? And it's a double-edged sword, and it's up to you what you do with it. That's the only difference between now and 1960, when there was only radio and TV. So now you're also partly creating content. Okay. So as nice as all these type ups are, you're also creating fear in other people. You're helping us create content. Majority of the content is user-generated content. So anytime you want to point fingers at social media, remember 4 of them are pointing at you. It's really what you do with it. It's completely up to you. But in society, it's always been a top 10% and the bottom 90%, or top 20% and bottom 80%. It's always been that way. It's completely up to you what you do with it. The comparison between now and days of the old is not a fair comparison, because you don't live in that time. You live in now. Your own responsibility is you learn how this works, right? And become the top 10% and let the rest of the bottom 80% continue to complain. Just like the bottom 80% from 1960 were also they were also complaining, not probably. Okay. It's always everyone and everything else's fault but self. This is just human behavior. Okay. Can you argue that it's harder now than before? I guess it's an argument. It's just an argument. But it's not going to help anything. What you're going to learn how to do, if you're going to change your experience, is to learn the game for now, how it works now, and stop comparing it to before. Okay. Part of the game now is to appreciate what this game represents right now. Social media can be your enemy or your friend. It's completely up to you. Okay. Is it easier said than done? Yes, it still is. Just like it's easier said than done to become the top 20% in our generation, right? So nothing changes there, but your attitude about where you find yourself, the generation you find yourself, can be adjusted for good. Let me just say that to that. Somebody said, I love marriage as well, but it now feels like a bondage to me nowadays. Okay. Another person said, instead of using the negative internet projection of marriages and relationship as a way to think of what marriage and relationship is supposed to be, then why not use the good marriages of your parents? Actually, there are some good marriages on the internet too. It just depends on what you have been following. Okay. Why not use the good marriages of your parents? A lot of people's parents didn't necessarily have good marriages either. Okay. And their marriages was created in 1960. Somebody said, and other happy couples that you have met to draw an example of inspiration of what yours will be like. Okay. The person is still trying to have a good attitude. So kudos to them. Because marriage didn't work out for another person doesn't mean it won't work for you. Stop using bad relationship of others to project or speak negatively onto into your lives. I have seen good marriages and some happy couples before, and I intend for mine to be like theirs and even more better than theirs. As long as your intention is coming from an emotionally intelligent place, then you'll be just fine. Mara says, unless she has grown, she is who she is. She is who she described. Wahala. Catching up on double speed. I checked the comment section and the guys were projecting, saying all kinds of garbage in the comment section, speaking all kinds of negative rubbish about women like did. What comment section? Which part? Chia. We watched the same video. I really love that he's trying to get his baby back and hope that he succeeds. She's talking about Judge Mathis. Their parents aren't cool in their mind. That's it. That's a good way to look at it, Marriott. If a person is not looking at their parent, there's a good chance that they don't envy what their parent has. And it's not going to be as simple as saying they're bad people. No, they just don't envy what their parents created. Okay. A lot of people came from bad examples, so we can't judge them either. But we can look at society, can be more intentional about society and know that, again, in any society you find yourself, there's always the top 20% and there's the bottom 80%. The bottom 80%, they will continue to collect. I know you want to empathize. No, you don't want to empathize. I know you want to sympathize with them.
Sorry.
All right, I know you do, but it is what it is. This is a competitive place, and may the best player win always. Yes, that's continue to be my prayer, and it's you that I'm praying for, because I know you will learn the game and learn how to use it to take care of yourself, subsequently the people around you, subsequently your children, right? Your husband, your wives. You're able to recreate what you're doing for yourself, taking care of yourself. You're able to attract who you are. Okay. I know it's easier to just say this word is destroying and this life is destroying, and everybody, I know it's easier to say that, but not so fast. Not so fast. Okay. There's a lot of things wrong with the world. There's no question about that. But when it comes to your personal relationships, you are still in control, directly or indirectly. It's up to you. All right. If you don't know what you're doing, you can know what you're doing to the extent of asking for help. Somebody said, not far from the truth. I really want to be married, but the kind of man coming is making me lose hope, but nothing small. Still hoping for the right one. You see, I also understand that it doesn't sound nice when I say you attract who you are, right? Like all those men you're attracting is like, so it has to be my fault. No, I'm not talking about fault. But if you continue to repeat the same experience, maybe you should pay attention to other strategies beyond just blaming everybody else. Okay. That is a strategy. Okay. The mindset of some of your females on what and how marriage should be like. That's why some of y'all are still on the street looking for Prince Charming. Y'all will wait. Okay. So anytime somebody is using the language, y'all, just know that they are probably numb in the skull. Take it with a pinch of salt. Okay. There's a lack of social intelligence in anybody who talks like that. Somebody said marriage, love will forever be a beautiful thing regardless, but the narrative are so changed. Depends on what you're paying attention to. Again, someone said we can all relate to what she said. The dating scene right now is something else. It's quite difficult to meet an intentional person. People are now prioritizing short-term pleasure, casual hookups over long-term commitment due to the false perception that they have multiple options. A lot are emotionally available and nonchalant due to experience in the dating scene and the exhaustion that comes with trying again. Please guard your heart. It's so cold out there. Now, let me be clear about something. There's a lot of truth to what they're saying. That's why it's eating somebody's nerves. But remember, we're not talking about if it's truth or lies. That's not what, or absolute truth and lies. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you being able to be in control of your experiences, right? By way of your attitude about life, your perception about life, your outlook on life. That is the only thing you can control anyway. So why would you want to pay attention to everything else you can control? I'm just saying. So I'm not disputing that there's truth to what they're saying. Why would I dispute that? That's their truth. That's their experience. It doesn't make sense to dispute that, right? So, but I'm saying you can change that. Absolutely, you can change your experience because we're living in a world of billions of people. There's no way one person's experience can make the absolute truth. It just doesn't make any sense. My own be saying now women spoil this small generation where we they manage. You already know what time that is, right? I like how she writes. It's quite truthful. So I say being part of the problem and acting like the victim is wild as F. Anyway, let me see if you guys have anything to add on to this in the chat. All right. See. So even without seeing the comment section, I can predict what the comments will say. Shake my head. Chinya say it made me sick of my stomach even when he held himself accountable and said, "Don't neglect your wife." It's like they were deaf. That's part of what they're talking about, the generation. People just hear with their side of the brain that works. It's usually one side, okay? And it's based on their experience. They were saying, oh, even if he didn't neglect his wife, woman can never be pleased. Oh, after all that money she has access to, she's not satisfied. That's part of the generation we're talking about. It's all congruent. Everything. It's all the same thing. All right, I get it. But yeah, let's get into some other topic. Oh well, let's get into the other stuff we have today. So does Toke Makinwa, does she have a point? Yeah, she has a point. The way this generation is set up, I think social media is a double-edged sword. It's called media. It's called attention. It's called you're a little bit more responsible. That's what it means, because now you're creating the content with the people that actually do content creation for a living. You are also, as users, you are creating content. So that comes with a lot more responsibility, but that also means it comes with other types of advantage, right? Every new advantage creates new sets of problem. Your job in the generation you live in is to learn how it works and become the best player in the game so that you can rise to the top 20%. And don't try not to join the bottom 80%. Yes, that's complaining. Okay, they're complaining about real things, about real problems. There's no question about that. But to a large extent, you can change your experience. You can influence the change you're looking for, right? But it's not going to be free. It's going to require some effort on your part. We can start by cleaning your algorithms, right? There's only so much attention, right? So I'll give you an example. Even what we do here, I decided to stay focused on what I'm here to do. You can decide to stay focused on what you want to do. It's completely up to you. I can decide to go chase the numbers, or I can stay focused on what I'm here to do on purpose. The only thing that's actually going to last the test of time. Is that difficult to do? Yes, it's difficult to do, but it's worth it, right? So you do the work. Part of the work is time. You're waiting it out. You're consistent and you're persistent, and you have focus on what you're here to do, right? Or you can focus on the easy route out, complain like everybody else. It's completely up to you. These are real problems. Again, these are real problems. The dating scene is a cesspool. That's a fact. Okay. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing for you, is the point. Okay. It doesn't have to be a bad thing for you. Did I stress that enough? I hope so. I hope so. You can absolutely decide the experience that you're having. If you've created some damages, it's going to take a minute for you to repair some of those damages, but you can absolutely change the direction right now. Okay. So what I did with regards to this platform is stay focused on the topics I want to cover and help the people that I actually want to help, and never mind everybody else. Okay. Because I'm sure that other people will help them. Maybe they need entertainment, whatever they need, other people will help them. But I want to stay focused on my own lane. If you're a content consumer, look at your algorithms, see what YouTube is presenting for you on your homepage. If it's not what you like, create another account and then join the accounts or follow the people you want to follow, and then you will notice that you've cleaned it. Let me tell you right now, just saying not interested in this or clicking on like is not good enough. Okay, that have proven to be stubborn. Okay, you need another account for your YouTube or whatever social media platforms you engage in. You need another account. Then you follow what you want to follow, and then it's clean. Who's going to do that for you? It's not going. Mark Zuckerberg is not going to do that for you. He doesn't get paid. He doesn't get incentivized to do that, right? You're responsible for that, okay? And then you will see more of what you're looking for. So social media is such a large place. Like we're talking about billions of people online on any given day. The dating scene is a large place. You cannot use your experience to determine everybody else's experience, okay? If you jump on the internet, you will see more people like you with your own outlook on life. That's what you're going to see, because that's the way it works, right? All right. So that's, just think of everything as algorithms, okay? But your outlook on life would ultimately determine the experience you're having. All right, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we do drop videos and go live. Join the conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Is Toke Makinwa right or wrong, or she's capping, or like Mario said, she should just go and rest? Let me know what your thoughts are. I'll be right back. Oh.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we are here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve. What is going on? Jesus Christ. I pressed the wrong thing. Hold on. Welcome back. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the story today. Shall we? We have a very important story to cover today. And please engage. I want to hear your thoughts on this. It helps us really cover all the bases that we need to cover. Okay. We're talking about this kind of stuff. This week, I think I have a couple of Japa stories lined up again, but I have had some other ones ahead of next week. So look out for next week for some other type of stories. But this one, he used me to bring his mistress to the UK. I'm going to read it. Then we'll try to understand where she's coming from. Then we'll take it from there. Okay. So what do we have here? Okay. All right. I'm writing you because I have no one else who would understand the pain I'm going through. My name is Clara. I changed all the names, by the way. My name is Clara, and I'm currently living in London. I met my husband, Kola, about 5 years ago when he was visiting the UK. We fell in love quickly, and after a whirlwind romance, he convinced me to marry him and bring him over from Nigeria to live with me here. Okay, wait, Joe, did I miss something? Okay, he was visiting. Okay, gotcha. At first, everything seemed perfect. Kola was everything I had ever wanted: charming, attentive, and ambitious. He promised me the world, and I believed him. However, things changed almost immediately after he arrived. He became distant and he became distant and uninterested in building a life with me. I tried everything. Wait, how did you jump from there? He was charming, attentive, and ambitious. You know me, I'm always looking like, tell me the rest of the story, right? He promised me the world and I believed him. However, things changed almost immediately after he arrived. He became distant and uninterested in building a life with me. I tried everything: counseling, prayer, and even giving him the space he said he needed. Then one day I discovered messages on his phone from another woman back in Nigeria. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. Instead, he turned the tables on me, accusing me of being insecure and controlling. I was shattered. But he promised it was just a misunderstanding and that he would cut off all contact. Things seemed to calm down for a while, but my heart was never at peace. I felt a deep gnawing sensation that that some that, that something wasn't right. And then a few months later, I found out the real truth. Kola had been using my money to fund his other woman's move to the UK. She is now here in the same city as us. My husband had brought her in as his cousin, and they were planning to live together. I confronted Kola again, and this time he was cold. He told me he was tired of my drama and that he needed to be with someone who understood him. He left that night and hasn't come back. I'm left alone in this house, surrounded by memories of a life that was never real. I don't know what to do, and I feel like I've lost everything. I thought love could overcome anything, but now I'm left questioning everything I've believed in. I don't know how to move forward from this betrayal, and the pain is so overwhelming. I'm sharing my story with you, hoping someone can learn from my mistake and maybe find strength where I couldn't. All right. Thoughts. Let me hear you guys. What are the lessons we can extract from this? Because that's just a sad story right there. That's an extremely sad story. What are the lessons we can learn from that? Anybody? I'm waiting. I'm going to wait a few more minutes while you guys gather your thoughts. And I'm listening. Let me hear your thoughts, and I'll come to the chat. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let me do a quick analysis of it. Mario says Nawa for Kolao. It is sad. It is sad because sounds like he has a whole nother life altogether. People are just using people anyhow these days. It's a struggle. These are the kind of stories that make us want to agree with Toke Makinwa, right? Yeah, it is kind of rough out there. But this kind of stories also tend to go viral more. What I try to do here is I want to acknowledge that this kind of stories exist, but I want to help more people get to the other side. Okay, because this kind of story, believe it or not, it presents an opportunity for whoever is dealing with this to start all over. But obviously, it's not easy to see that way. So that's what I want to bring. I want to bring another perspective to it as opposed to just remaining in that funk and thinking life is just fully like that. Because the way our brain works, we tend to see life with our experience and we make assumption that it's just like that everywhere. Nothing could be further from the truth. So it's a truly there's no way that's not a painful experience for someone like Clara to go through that kind of stuff. Betrayal can cut really deeply, potentially irreparable. Okay, so some people will never actually find the solution they're looking for. Okay, because it's actually easier to be drawn to more stories like it, and that just makes it worse and worse and worse and worse. So it's going to be hard to come back from it, but there's nothing worthwhile that's not hard. So this is just the real world. Okay, so a couple of things. Okay, a couple of things. Hold on 1 second. Let me see here. Am I missed something? A lady straight up said marriage is the way to go abroad now. She's looking for an abroad husband. And that one will collect now. Like, oh, I went to the village to bring a feminine woman. Right? It's crazy. Yeah. Some people will even go as far as having 4 children with you, knowing good and well from the onset they were going to leave your ass. It's crazy. That's crazy, But I don't want you guys to think about that. I don't want you to think about that because for most times, people just don't know how to do relationships. And of course, a person will have 4 children with you, and then you happen to import them. So it's easy for you to say they were planning it all along. Who is going to listen to their side? Like, no, I wasn't planning it all along. It just so happened that we've had 4 children, and that just happened to be our story. But I'm tired. I can't stay in this relationship anymore. See, when you mix that story, Chinye, which, by the way, can exist, of course, when you mix it together, the other side of the person that's just like, yeah, I know, I feel like I owe them, but no, I just can't stay in that kind of relationship, right? So now, which one is the truth, right? Because both stories from at least one side will sound like either side, right? So it's very difficult. So I'm convinced I have to look at it from, no, you marry that person. It is what it is. You marry that person. What else can you learn from this story outside of the painful experience of betrayal by a person you brought abroad? What else can you learn from it outside of the fact that you, quote unquote, yes, you did them a favor, bringing them abroad once upon a time? That's the angle I like to approach it from, because everything else we can't really control and we don't really know. We might never know, actually, as a matter of fact, But you marry that person. What value were you getting from them when you decided to marry them? I know you imported them, but you were also getting some type of value from marrying that person. You were not doing charity work. You can call it, oh, I settled, I shouldn't have settled, nice and cute. What else, even if the value is as simple as, no, I was desperate, I wanted to get married. I was tired of Western women and I wanted to go and find a feminine woman in the third world. What else could you learn outside of you being the victim in this story? Right? And that's the angle I want us to cover it from. Yes, it is very true. Some people can intentionally come into your world, impregnate you, knowing fully well that they had another wife. Yes, things like that do happen in this crazy, crazy, cold world. Right? When you catch that person, the only thing you should do is you should be letting them go. If you're not letting them go, then there's more to the story. There's more to that story. So, but let me get back. Let me analyze the story itself. Okay. This kind of thing can leave you completely lost and questioning your self-worth for the rest of your life. So it's not easy. It's not easy. But yes, it's easier said than done, but it's absolutely doable. You probably have more strength within you than you realize to navigate, and it's probably a brand new opportunity for you to recreate life all over again. As long as there's life, there is hope. Okay, but I get it. This kind of experience can make you question your worth. So let me go over it again. I'm writing to you because I have no one else who would understand the pain I'm going through. You see, a lot of people, they might talk to friend, family and stuff with this kind of story, and those ones will just inherit your problem and will catch more emotions than you sometimes. So you gotta be careful with your friends and family when it comes to advising you on emotional matters. Sometimes they catch more feelings. Sometimes they already have beef with your significant other. So just be careful, okay? Sometimes they can also be a good shoulder to cry on if you feel safe enough around them. That's fine, because support system is key, and sometimes support starts with family and friends. So she goes, my name is Clara, and I'm currently living in London. I met my husband Kola about 5 years ago when he was visiting the UK. So a guy who is visiting the UK, obviously, is you can't look at that person. He was visiting the UK. You can't look at him. It's not Richard. It's not Ratchet. It's a guy who is well off. He might have a good job with a major company in Nigeria. He might have been building a career with a major company in Nigeria, being able to travel and take care of himself. Maybe he came by way of a scholarship or some kind of program to come and represent his company. So it's not exactly easy to pick that person apart, that they would be desperate for Japa, right? It's not exactly easy, right? So sometimes people will beat themselves up and say, I should have known. Like, don't be so quick to beat yourself up. Your experience is your experience. What you should focus on is what you can learn from it. That's not easy, but that's what you should focus on. Okay. So he was visiting. So there's no way, that you could. You're not thinking it's a village boy. You're not thinking it's quote unquote. Sorry. Excuse me. Michael from Michael and Angela, 90 Days Fiance. You're not thinking it's some Agbiru boy who's just looking to Japa. No, this is a person that might have presented as, no, I don't need to Japa. They might have actually said, I don't want to live overseas. I rather not. Some of them will come into our malls here and they will spend $5,000-$10,000 right in front of you, and you're looking like, you dare not. Right? You dare, like, many people can't afford to do that, even though they live here. They can't afford to go and blow $5,000-$10,000 in the mall. He might have even shopped for you, Seth, and shopped for many other people. So it's hard to predict that kind of person, that they will just come and take advantage of you, or they will, it's never easy like that, as easy as it's being painted on the internet, that you should have known. No, sometimes you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you're not capable of knowing certain things, because maybe it's just an experience you needed to have to build the next phase of your life, which is the quality that you should be looking forward to right now. Okay, granted, easier said than done, but nonetheless, you're here. You can recreate your life, especially if you have this kind of experience. So she said, we fell in love quickly, and after a whirlwind romance, he convinced me to marry him and bring him over from Nigeria to live with me here. Okay. So it sounds like just a relationship, that two people had, Chia said that feminine woman from the third world go shook your eyes. Listen, our brothers they collect. Oh, Ma said we don't think he's from Ose, Ondo. What do you mean? That are you throwing shots at Ose local government and Ondo? Are you throwing shots? Don't do it though. Don't do it though. We are some of the most educated, posh, tush people around though. I hope that's not what you're doing. So it might be from Ondo. What do you mean from Ondo? Have you? You guys sound like you've never been to Ondo before. Have you been to Ondo before? Ondo is one of the most poshest part of Nigeria. Don't get it twisted though. Amara said, is it a normal relationship? She was convinced to marry and bring him over. She's telling the story now. Okay. Oftentimes when you're telling the story from your own personal feelings, emotions, you're reflecting back. If you try to gauge it against the actual things that happen, there will be lots of inaccuracy there. And rightfully so, because you're speaking from a place of feeling hurt now. Yes, posh and tush at the same time, So yes, she's just narrating the story right now. So if she say convinced, I'm just going to take that with a pinch of salt. I believe how she feels, right? So convinced could easily mean she was wooed. She was swept off her feet. She was in love, right? I was having a little doubt there and there, but I was in love too. I was just like, oh, what the heck? It could mean any one of those many translations of convinced me to marry him. Anyway, we don't know. And then she goes, at first, everything seemed perfect. Okay, everything seemed perfect. Kola was everything I had ever wanted. Okay, that doesn't sound like a lot of conviction. She fell for him. She said, charming, attentive, and ambitious. Most typical women will fall for that. Okay, they will fall for that. Okay. He promised me the world, and I believed him. However, things changed almost immediately after he arrived. Okay, so this is a pivotal point right here. When she said, however, things changed almost immediately after he arrived. Change in life is inevitable. Nonetheless, if things change in a way that really shakes your core and makes you question everything you've seen up to that point, it's okay to stop everything too. That's also a form of change. Just stop it. Just say, hey, that's not how we got here. And you can actually say that from a very loving place, understanding place, and say, that's not how we got here. Why are you speaking to me like that? You modern women, we can't talk to you anymore. Yes, so I am modern women. I didn't appreciate the way you just talked at me just now. Okay? It's okay to stop everything immediately as soon as you felt some type of change. It's not easy because, again, you're just hoping it's just a bad day and just another bad day. And there's probably, as usual, there's ups and downs, right? There are good days, there are bad days, right? It's not just all bad days, but anytime there's a good day, you bought into it and you're like, we're going to continue. And then you have a tendency, all of us have a tendency to push the issues under the rug, right? Hoping that they will just disappear with the winds. But then it's repeated itself the second time, the third time. At what point are you going to say, maybe it's me, but we need to seek wise counsel, right? Maybe it's me, but we need to say, that's what's wrong with you people. You always want to go to, everything is about therapy. How can everything be about therapy when we've never been to therapy? So you're not talking about me. I'm talking about us. We need to get this right. If we can't get it right, then it's okay to stop everything right now. It's early enough. One of the major issues is that people look at how much invested they are already. They're not looking. They're already so invested in the situation. They're in the situation emotionally that the last thing they want is to mess it up. Right? They don't want to mess it. Even if a friend comes to you and says, what I'm looking at is bad, there's a good chance you'll push against that friend. And you say, you should leave you alone and go and face our own misery loves company life. He might even convince you in that direction. Because again, remember, there are bad days and there are good days. Your friends might be stuck on the bad days. It's not always a bad thing that your friends are stuck on the bad days. It just means that's an issue that you want to make sure you have the skills to navigate if it shows itself in the future. Most people don't do that. They just stay in that funk of the ups and downs and ups and downs. Today we argue, the next week we're in love, we buy vacation, we make up sex. Everybody just continue life as normal. And the reality is that there's a difference. There's been a change from when you fell in love with him and what you're experiencing now. And you keep noticing that that thing is repeating itself. If it keeps coming back, even though you have some good times, then it simply means there are issues that needs to be addressed. Okay. So however things change almost immediately, if it's almost immediately, that's the more reason why you should have stopped everything in its track in that moment, and let's get it for your own good, for everybody's good. So so I can be the so I can be the best quality of wife I can be for you. It's for his own good too, right? So he became distant and uninterested in building a life with me. That's a very pregnant statement. I'm not really too sure what that meant. If it's so instant, right? I would like to know, to unpack that sentence a little bit more. He became distant and uninterested in building a life with me. Is this staying out longer or what's going on? So she tried everything. Counseling? To what capacity? How? What do you mean by you tried counseling? I want to know. Because we're not going to judge your counselor for this. We want to know exactly how that went. Was it a one-time session? Was it an on and off session where you take counseling and you come back again 3 years later to try again? Exactly what did that look like? I tried everything. Counseling, prayer. What do you mean? Are you talking about NSSPPD? Maybe you're talking about you kneel down in front of your house. Maybe you're talking about Igbele Olua. What exactly are you talking about when you talk about prayer? Because especially Nigerians, we can mean like an array of so many things when we say prayer, right? And even giving him the space he said he needed. Okay, now this is an interesting part. If he said he needed, anytime a person comes to you and they said they need space, you need to give yourself 10 times the space that they need. There's a good chance that you're clingy, you're needy, right? That doesn't mean it's your fault. I'm talking about their experience, okay? There's a good chance that you're clingy as far as they're concerned. You need to give yourself, not giving them, give yourself 10 times the space they said they need. It's very, very important. They automatically they will get the space they need, right? Sometimes people just need their space. Sometimes it's as thick as this kind of condition where this guy seems like he's never really intended to be in that relationship. I think that's what Chinye was talking about. If he immediately came and he started changing his attitude, yes, I like Judge Mathis said, it's not far-fetched for you to be suspicious that did he ever care, right? It's not far-fetched. Maris, it sounds like she overrode an intuition to me, but I am overthinking it now because it didn't work out. It could be any one of those things. You just don't know, right? Toby and Tribe, hello. She said, there are some people that marry just for papers. Then they later bring the true love of their life. Love, yes, of course. Of course. Especially if she claims he immediately changed. It depends. Mr. Ola, be serious. Igbele what? Yes, that's prayer now. That's a form of prayer now. Igbele Olua. It's a form of prayer. Come on now. You know now. You know now. So what do you mean by prayer? Exactly. Some people will say prayer don't work. And I'm like, what do you mean by prayer? It doesn't work. Some people say counseling doesn't work or therapy doesn't work. What do you mean by counseling? Like we can throw all these words around. I would, before I can offer any kind of solution, I need to know what they mean. I don't want to make assumptions. So let's see here. Then one day I discovered messages on his phone from another woman back in Nigeria. Okay. So she skipped a part there. She skipped at least. I was snooping around. She skipped at least. I was snooping around, or the phone just popped up and the password interwove itself. and it was open in my face, and I just saw she skipped that part. Oh, it just so happened that he was bathing and he forgot to lock the phone. Something was skipped in between there. Okay, that's not just one thing that was skipped. There's a lot of things that was skipped there. But let's just go with the story, okay? Then one day, like one moment later, you know that sound effect I said, and a moment later, I discovered messages on his phone from another woman back in Nigeria. When I confronted him, as you should, okay, if you discover something like that, confront. There's nothing else to do than just to confront that person, okay? Confronting doesn't mean you're combative. It just means you're asking, what is this? Who is this person? What does this mean? Anyway, so she did. He didn't even deny it. Instead, he turned the tables on me, accusing me of being insecure and controlling. That's why I said, what else were in between there? Accusing you of being insecure and controlling. Obviously, it makes sense because he probably feels like you're clingy, needy, you're snooping through the phone, and all that kind of stuff. Does that give him the right to do whatever he was doing with another woman? Some messages, no, it doesn't, right? But then it's not really about rights because it still doesn't have the right. And if it was just about rights, the problem will be solved. So the problem is not yet solved. I was shattered, but he promised it was just a misunderstanding and that it would cut off all contact. Okay, so again, you can't judge this lady if she seemed like she had like Myra, I think that's what Myra was saying about intuition, right? If she had not been paying attention to these are glaring signs in front of her face. Again, from the point that he changed his attitude as soon as he moved in, we're just gonna call that a day. Like, you know, and it's easier said than done, but we need to figure out what we're doing. And the job of a wise counsel is, if they start having conversations with you, you will be able to tell them more than enough that will let them tell you, like, okay, maybe this is not the guy for you. It seems like you don't really know this person. It seems like this person is on another, you guys are on another 2 different pages, right? They'll be able to tell you and help you pinpoint a few things, align a few patterns, and you'll be able to make better decision because you still have to make that decision, right? But it's a bad idea to continue in that relationship, right? And then expect something to change, right? It's a bad idea to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? So things seem to, okay, so he said, wait, let me go back. Then one day I discovered messages. Okay, when I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. Instead, he turned the tables on me, accusing me of being insecure and controlling. I expect him to do that. It's part of the denial. Okay, I was shattered, but he promised it was just a misunderstanding and that he would cut off all contact. Well, did you believe him? Right? It wasn't about believing him. Believing him is irrelevant, right? There's a changed behavior that you have to pay attention to over a period of time. Okay. If it's a misunderstanding, what is the misunderstanding? What exactly is a misunderstanding? Okay. Once you note that, you're going to be looking out for changed behavior. It's going to be a function of time, patience, change behavior, time, patience, meaning you cannot rush back into that situation. Not like that. I understand you might be living in the same household, but still, they have to earn you back. If in fact, it's not too clear, what is misunderstanding? What is misunderstanding? And exactly, he denied it. Is it denying it because it never happened? What exactly didn't happen? What is the nature of these text messages? There are some text messages that you will see that you will simply paint 200,000 Nollywood movies of the worst case scenario. It is possible. However, there needs to be some clarity here. And that clarity is not something you can snap your fingers and it will come. You have to take your time. Let me continue. Things seemed to calm down for a while, but my heart was never at peace. Of course not. Of course, your heart was never at peace because the issue was never resolved. A lot of us brothers sometimes we're like, I thought that issue was resolved. No, it was never resolved. It was just swept under the rug. Okay, so of course your heart was never at peace. In other words, I don't know if you want to call it resentment, lack of peace of mind, low quality of sex, because your heart is not at peace. No intimacy or fake ass intimacy because you're always looking over your shoulder. You cannot be vulnerable, obviously, and you know that's a necessary ingredient in healthy relationships, right? So she said, I felt a deep gnawing sensation that something wasn't right. For how long? For a while. What is a while? 5 years, 2 years? Well, she had known this guy for 5 years now, right? Something wasn't right. And then a few months later, I found out the real truth. Kola had been using my money to fund his other woman's move to the UK. She's now here. She's in the UK, in the same city as us. All right. My husband had brought her in as his cousin. You see, let me explain something to you. Okay, my brought her in as cousin. I don't know. Can you file a petition for people as a cousin? I don't know what that means. Over here, I don't. What does that mean? Cousin? Can you bring people into America as cousin? I don't know if you can do the same thing as in UK. I know you can bring in a parent. You can bring in a child, a legal custody child. I think that's about it. Can you bring in a cousin? What is that? In UK, can you? You can bring in an employee, right? Somebody with some kind of business interest, as long as you can guarantee their productivity in the nation, right? Cousin, what does that mean? And they were planning to live together. Brought her in as a cousin and we're planning to live together. You guys educate me. D, can you educate me? How does that work in the UK? But let me say this about she found out the real truth. Okay. There is another story that I have here, one of my clients, as a matter of fact, of a person that brought in a classmate. The way she would tell the story is that he brought in a classmate. The way he told me the story is that no, this person was already on their way in to America, and I just happened to be a resource for them. And the messages she saw was basically just me giving her some resources to help her make her landing in America a lot more easier. She's convinced that there's something between them. Now, she's convinced that something in between them is not the same thing as there's actually something in between them. You see how these stories can literally take different shapes when you start hearing so. But nonetheless, this is why I don't necessarily need to hear the other side of the story. The person that's talking to me right now, once you don't feel safe and secure enough, stop everything. This issue is going to tamper with your relationship at an emotional level. So you don't need to have facts. You just need to know how you feel. If you're feeling funky and you're feeling that the relationship is not right, why would you want to continue? You're just going to show a person's son, somebody's son, shaggy. That's what you're going to do. So you're actually doing yourself harm when you stay in a relationship where you don't feel right. Why don't you take your time to get it right first before you continue? Right? So it's not about the person is right or they're wrong, or as always, it's not about that. It's about you don't feelings being the key word here. You don't feel right. Then why should you rush and continue when you have the rest of your life to do it right? I'm just saying, just a question. So what does cousin mean? Let me see. Somebody was helping me in the chat. Somebody was helping me in the chat. Kola didn't have a job. I mean, he was in the UK on a visit prior to some 5 years ago. So maybe he doesn't have a job presently. Who knows? We don't know. I don't know. Did you pick something from the story? But anyway, Kola used her money. Okay. Is that what you're saying? What does she mean by her money? Was he not working using his own money? Okay. I don't know. But bottom line is that I'm focused on here. What does she mean by a cousin? It's a question, because can you bring in a cousin? That would be interesting. to know. I don't know about UK, but anyway. So she said I confronted Kola again, and this time he was cold. He told me he was tired of my drama and that he needed to be with someone who understood him. And who's that person? The cousin, or the supposed to be cousin? Somebody who understood him. He left that night and hasn't come back. So now we have no idea where he left. Where did he go? Did he go to move in with a cousin? Did he disappear? Is it what happened here? We don't know, right? But he disappeared, right? Now, does he have his permanent resident yet? Does he have his green card yet? Permanent resident. This is UK, right? So what happened there? I'm left alone in this house, surrounded by memories of a life that was never real. Trust me, that life was real. But I guess she's talking about the love was never real. She doesn't believe that it was ever real. The guy never cared or anything like that. But let me break it to you like this. I don't have enough here to conclude that that's exactly what happened. The only thing I can tell you is that this woman never felt safe in this relationship and she kept winging things. Right? I don't know what to do and I feel like I've lost everything. Yeah. So that's that hurt feeling. I thought love could overcome anything. Depends on what you mean by love. What do you mean by love? Your own version of love is not necessarily able to overcome everything. So I don't know what you mean by love. You're talking about just being in love, or you're talking about actually loving a person? Are you talking about loving a person out of pity? Are you talking about loving a person just by helping them japa? Or what do you mean exactly by love? But now I'm left questioning everything I ever believed in. Yes. So this kind of experience again will make you question your self-worth. This is what they mean when they say I've lost myself. I don't know how to move forward from this betrayal, and the pain is so overwhelming. I'm sharing my story with you, hoping someone can learn from my mistake and maybe find strength where I couldn't. All right, so if you have stories like this and you want to send them in, just send them to ask@manofprestige.com. Ask@manofprestige.com. That's where you want to send them. Okay. And if you want us to help you with this kind of situation, navigate the next phase of your life in this kind of situation, you can also send a request to ask@manofprestige.com. Reach out, or you can use the phone number that's scrolling on the screen, which is +1 732 305. I forgot. What's the number? I can't remember right now. I blanked out straight. Where's the phone number? +1 732 305 8577. If you live outside of Europe, America, and Australia, send an email. Okay, send an email. All right. So I have 5 tips for anybody who might be going through this kind of stuff. D said they certainly can't bring in a cousin in the UK too. I'll try to figure out, he brought her in as a cousin. Killer mean, auntie. Please elaborate. Chinye said he was looking for the perfect opportunity to disappear. It could be. Or it could be looking for the perfect opportunity to escape a narcissist. Who knows? We will never know. We just need to know what else is going on behind the scenes. This is just our own side of the story. The only thing here that I'm going to hold on to is that once you're in a relationship and you don't feel right, stop it. Stop everything. You have the rest of your life to get this right. Seek wise counsel. Okay? You need to know that relationship is not right. That's why you don't feel right. It's not about the other person is wrong or they're a criminal or anything like that. We don't know until we don't know, or until we know. But what we know is that it doesn't feel right, and it's okay to stop it before you try to figure out. You don't expect to gain clarity from a very cloudy place, right? That's an oxymoron, right? Yeah. So Chia says manipulation 101. So he got caught and then he ran away, right? Could be. It could be. We don't know that. Welcome, Uncle Beno. Good to see you, Uncle Beno. All right, so here are some tips. I want to share some tips. I want to share some tips with regards to this. We've covered it. I think it's sad anytime people are going through this kind of situation. It is what it is, but it's not going to be as simple as pointing fingers. You're going to have to hold yourself accountable, responsible, at least for the next phase of your life. Okay? At least. Okay, for the next phase of your life. Okay? So the first tip I want to share with you with regards to this kind of story is when you go through something like this, something this crazy, you need to know that you're creating narrative from your experience, from the emotions, the hurt feelings. You need to claim that back. You need to reclaim your narrative. You don't want to just be speaking or interpreting from a place of pain. That's exactly what you're going to do. Okay, when trust is broken, you're going to obviously feel like everything was a lie. You're going to tell yourself stories that will continue to perpetuate victimhood. Okay, and it's hard for you to engage your power from that place. So you need to reclaim your narrative. That's going to be the first tip I want to share with you today. You need to remember that your actions, okay, your actions and your intentions need to be rooted in emotional intelligence. And that's not something that you ever finish learning. So you need to engage self-care, self-love as always. And it's going to be super difficult to do that right now because a person that you've engaged with for 5 years has basically demonstrated that you're not worth anything. So there's a very good chance you'll buy into that narrative. And yeah, for a lot of people, they just keep going down that drain, So the stories that you're telling yourself in this respect, not me, not the story you're telling me, the stories that you're telling yourself is going to be a key factor in the direction you set for the rest of your life. Okay? You need to get into a place where you start to recognize your own values again, because again, you've gone through an experience that's going to, like she said, that's going to make you question everything about yourself. Okay. So what do you guys think about that? Any thoughts around that? Reclaiming your narrative. You need to reclaim your narrative. Reclaim the stories you're telling yourself, because a lot of people are going to self-destruct from this standpoint based on the stories they tell themselves. Remember, the easiest stories to tell yourself is that you're a victim. Yes, you probably have been a victim. Okay, there's no doubt that you've been a victim, at least of circumstances, even if it's not of that person, right? Maybe a victim of poverty. Maybe that guy is just trying to run away from poverty. Well, maybe it's all a maybe, right? But now beyond that, what are you going to do? Okay, the first thing you're going to do is tell yourself the stories that you're just a victim. You need to reclaim that story, and then you need to find your values again. Some people call it find yourself. Some people call it self-discovery, right? But I'm very, very, very particular today about the narrative, the stories you've been telling yourself. Okay. Now, number 2, the second tip I want to share with you before I go into the second tip. Let me see. I just seen Maya says, MOP, these stories aren't rare. It's her story. Maybe she's still grieving. Listen, she needs to reclaim her narrative. Same thing is applicable. Okay. She need to reclaim her story in a way that's going to help her build, not self-destruct. That's going to be a process. It's going to be a time. Anyway, 2, strengthen your inner boundaries. I think you guys would have been thinking about inner boundaries, maybe boundaries, but maybe not necessarily boundaries at this time around. Another way I can think of that is discernment. Your discernment radars. some people are just so strong, it's very hard for them to fall victim for this kind of stuff. That doesn't mean that they're walking around town calling everybody the devil. That's not what that means. It just means it doesn't mean they're even able to identify what that person is. They just know something doesn't feel right, and they know how to stop it before you get too far. There's some people like that, right? It could be many, many different things, but one of them is your inner boundaries. You just know that, some people have the personality that naturally put them in that position too. A personality that before they feel anything funny, they will run away. There's some people like that, right? And there's some people that try to force things. As I was just talking to a client just now, they're trying to force a circle into a square. They try to force, like the same thing I said about the Jesus babies the other time. They try to force it to be right because it's also coming from a place of being desperate. They're not necessarily able to admit that they're desperate, but it is being desperate, right? So there's certain things they should, like I've always said, don't be an easy target. One of the reasons why I wrote this book, one of the reasons why we wrote this book, number one red flag is to help you not be an easy target. Many people will judge this by the cover. They think I'm teaching them to go around looking like this, looking for red flags everywhere, which is what most people do, right? I wrote this book mainly to desensitize yourself from being a walking red flag. We talked about red flags in there as well, but we wrote this book to help you desensitize yourself from being a walking red flag. A walking red flag is a person who is always sniffing red flag. They're looking. That's a person who is a walking red flag, right? They're doing that because their discernment radars are very, very dull, right? So they think they're going to use pragmatic measures to catch a caller, right? And what might end up happening is that they end up becoming a Clara who has no idea how they ended up in that situation. All they can see is that 5 years ago, this man was all in love with me. The moment he moved in, he became my enemy. That's all they can see. These stories can show up in so many forms, right? And these same stories can be told in so many forms. How many forms? Multiply the number of people that will retell these stories by at least 10. That's how many forms you can tell these stories in, right? So strengthen your inner boundaries. Okay, this is a time to focus on what you're willing to accept in relationships moving forward. If you are the type of person, you have a type of personality that you try to see the best in people, but you do it to a fault, right? Then you have to be careful here. You naturally do that. So if something doesn't feel right, get a clue. Okay, success and failure leaves a clue. Get a clue, stop everything, seek wise counsel. And you can do that as many times as you need in a marriage. You have my permission. Yes, even if they accuse you that you think everything is about counseling. Yes. Because if you felt right, you wouldn't be asking for help in the first place, right? So it's important to understand, to draw the line between compromise and losing oneself. A lot of people out here in this internet street, they're very quick to preach compromise, right? And compromise is a beautiful thing. But compromise is something you do from a place of you're giving value. You're giving from a place of free will. It's not something you do to punish yourself. Even if you're sacrificing, compromising, potato, right? Even if you're doing that, right? You're connected to the end reward of you doing that. If you're doing it with a complete disconnect from what is the end goal of this, then basically that's not compromise. That's not compromise, right? That's a very loose boundary. You need to be able to say, hey, I know I'm supposed to compromise, but I don't feel right. I need to understand what we're doing here first before I move any forward. Okay. So strengthening your inner boundary is a function of your self-development, endeavors, self-improvement, and things of that nature. All right. Let me see. What else do we have here? Let's see what else do we have here. I have a third tip that I want to share with you. before we get into that, let me see. Marriott said MOP this. Okay, yeah, we covered that already. Yes, the stories aren't rare on the internet. Of course, on the internet they're not rare. Of course, I'm covering them right now too as well. Right. So the more secure a woman is, the less likely she will fall for an Olori Buruku. You know the funny thing, Toby? I have to agree with that 100%. It's very difficult for many people to believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. Yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. You know, people don't come into your life and manufacture low self-esteem from scratch. That's not how it works. There's some kind of vulnerability that's not healthy that they were able to tap into. Okay. There was some type of vulnerability that they were able to tap into. It was pre-existing before them. You know, so that's a very difficult one because again, it spells accountability. So I know that can be difficult for some people to get, but it's very key. It's very key. Let's see. This is another good point. Mario said everyone is secure until they become vulnerable. But we can't. Here's the thing with this statement, Marriott. I agree with you, but there's not much we can do with it. It keeps us in a place of victimhood. It keeps us in a place where we're just looking over our shoulder every time. In a romantic relationship, is it helpful? Can you point out to me how it's helpful? Because you're right, but I'm trying to see maybe if there's a way that's how this can help, because I want to highlight how this can help. You know, Mario says you don't get scammed because you're smart. You just weren't vulnerable and or greedy at that moment. We're saying the same thing in a funny way. In a funny way, you know. Now keep in mind, we're talking about in an emotional realm, right? We're talking about something transpired over a period of time. You were engaging this person. They were talking, they were telling you about their life. Even when we talk here sometimes, when people have holes in their story, you can pick them. You're not trying to sleep with them, but when they have holes in the story, you can pick them. How much more you are dating them in a romantic way, potentially for a lifetime partnership, right? There's just some things you'll pick up. You can't identify it, but you know that you can move forward. Not to the point that you necessarily break up with them, but you're able to say, I have an idea. I think we should seek coaching so that other people can help you. This is how I feel. I'm feeling this type of way. There's this other aspect of his life that I don't know. Maybe he walks on the waters. Maybe he's a Navy guy who walks on waters and stuff like that, right? He walks on the waters and he's always disconnected, so you don't get to talk to him for 1 month. And even that person, right? So he's never picking up the phone. And you're suspecting that this guy is cheating. But then he wants to jump out at the same time. But, there's just all this. And then there's some things you'll pick up, So everyone is secure until they become vulnerable. No, some people actually carry insecurity around them already. And I want to focus more on those people. Let's see. I am not disagreeing with both of you. I'm just saying we need to understand how they happen. I'm with you. I know you're not disagreeing. I just want to make sure that again we're covering all those, because these are the blind spots right here, right? That's why I ask questions. These are the blind spots. Okay, so here's the blind spot that I want to highlight in all of this. Even as we're reading text, you see how I'm asking, I'm making sure, right? When you speak to someone on the phone, you're engaged with them. There's some things that your spirit will pick up. You as an individual, you're not smart. That's why I said I was agreeing with you in a funny way. There's some things that you will never be smart enough to pick up, but your spirit will pick it up. You can't identify it, but you know something is not right. It's okay to stop everything, because if you don't feel right, that's going to produce bad fruit. Okay? If you don't feel right, it's going to produce bad fruit. It might look like insecure or controlling, something that Uncle Kola is also accusing Clara of. You see? So, thank you, Toby and Tribe and Marriott. Let me see. What is the next one here? Okay. Speaking of, tip number 3, observe the energy exchanges. Now, this is almost contradicting itself because you say spirit, but you're saying observe, you're saying don't walk on eggshell, but you say, if you try to do this without working on yourself, that's one thing I want to. If you try to do this without working on yourself, you'll become a walking red flag. Okay? You just be a red flag police. And that doesn't feel right in a romantic relationship. It won't feel right to the other person. The other person will be the one saying, something is not quite right. I don't know why. You become that person that go on Pop the Balloon and say, I don't want an Olosho. What do you want in a wife? I don't want a promiscuity type of woman. Right? You're walking red flag. There's nothing wrong with what you said. But most people will like, listen, I don't know what's wrong, but something is off, right? That's what I'm talking about here, right? So though I'm saying observe the energy, but the energy is the key word here. The energy is not something you can contain quite all right, but it's something that you feel it. There's a certain energy you feel around people. And if you feel funny, take a step back. Take a step back. That's what I've been saying here. It doesn't matter if it's new dating or you're being married for 5 years or you've been married for 39 years. Take a step back and observe. Pay attention. If the energy is off, you don't have to say they're the devil, but it's time to learn something new. Okay? All right? It's time to learn. There's some questions you should ask yourself. Did you have moments that thing fell off that you ignored? Now we're talking about red flag. Did you have red flag that you've ignored? Reflect on how things has been up to this point in time. Did you have, as opposed to, one day they just flipped? Take a little bit longer time and reflect on everything that's happened, right? Has there been some other things that maybe you haven't paid attention to? It's very difficult to do this if you're self-medicating, of course. But with the help of a support system, your pastor, a wise counsel, a friend who you think is very wise if you're that broke, right? With the help, they might help you see some things, because all of us have at least half of the blind spot behind us, right? So there's only so much you can see, and sometimes when you share, other people can help you see things that you're not able to see. Today, forget about 5 years ago. Today, in this moment, when this guy has left the house right now, is another opportunity for you to do it right. The panic, have that under control. Try to slow down the anxiety, okay? But these are the questions you need to ask yourself, right? These are the questions that if you ask yourself when you were in love 5 years ago, you probably couldn't really comprehend it. But now you're in a better place to actually comprehend and say, okay, he ran away from the house. He ran away from his problems. Well, what else has been happening in our dynamics, in our energy exchange, right? Reflect on how you've engaged with that person to better understand your own triggers and needs. See, you always think it's about exonerating the other person. No, all of this is for you as an individual, first and foremost. All right? Because if you don't get that right, you're not going to get the relationship right. Okay? If you don't get that right, you're not going to get the relationship right. Let's see. Me, I'm weary of charmers, and I tell them to their face that they are giving me scammer energy. The funny thing about that, Mario, that could be a seductive thing you're doing right there. Right? Let's see how far it goes with pursuing you when you say that. Right? Now, if he engages Shalaye, that could be a turn off for you. Right? But if he engages you in a way that's even more charming, you might just fall by mistakenly, even on the bola, even better, deeper. Right? You see? But you being weary of charmers, the only thing it can do is still subconscious in nature at the end of the day. Right? So I would just pay attention to that. It's not exactly a bad thing that you're wary of charmers, You might also be operating from a place of certain experiences or experiences of friends and things like that, right? It could also be your personality. You naturally need, you don't want somebody to be love bombing or doing something or doing too extra or doing too much, right? All of that could be, right? But it could be, it could be a good thing, Don't overthink it. Okay. If it comes off as a trauma and you say it out loud and say, hey, you're giving me funny vibes. Me, I would argue that I think you're falling for that person. That's why you're saying that. They entertain me. I like watching how scammers get people. So you know they are scammer or you're suspecting they are scammer. Which one? Do you know they are scammers or you're suspecting they are scammers? It can only be one of two of them. Okay. Number 4, the fourth tip of 5 that I want to share with you right now is enhance your listening skills. Are we beating this one over the head too much? Is this too much? Are we talking about active listening skills way too much? All right, should we keep talking about it? I think is the one skill set that most people, especially I'm a communicator, don't have. Okay, I think it's terrible for a lot of people. I think I was terrible at active listening. I could listen, I could be patient, but then I can actually lose my attention very quickly too. Yeah, so see, another angle, right? So it's something that we have to keep paying attention to. Very, very important. Sometimes the truth is spoken, but we're not always listening close enough. Sometimes that person had been telling you from day one, but you're not listening. No, you're listening, you can hear, but it doesn't mean you're listening. All right. So we can start now. Again, it's never too late. Once there's life, there's hope. Right. So instead of assuming that you have all the communication skills there is, become a student of active listening. Work on truly hearing people, and what, not just hearing what they say, but hearing beyond their words. Are you asking us to read mind? I don't know if that's what that means to you, but you need to hear other things beyond their words. Okay? You need to hear beyond their words. Okay? This is how you sharpen your discernment spirit. This is how you discern intentions early on before it gets too late. What is early on? Now. I'm not talking about 5 years ago. Right now, this opportunity you have right now, even though, yes, I know it's tough. You walked out of the house, you feel like your life is shattered and all that. I'm talking about now. Okay? You need to learn how to discern people's intentions beyond what they say. You can't keep waiting for what they say now. Yes, of course, people can have ulterior motives and intentions. Of course. Yeah. It's always interesting when people think they're telling me that for the first time. Human beings are here to survive. I've been telling you that forever. They're here to survive, and they will do all type of wrong things if it feels right. Feeling right can come from a place of they're just trying to survive. What's the ultimate survivor here? Japa is not your mate. It's about survivor. Right? So, but the key thing is here, how can we pick this up before it gets too late? Because the reality is that some of you, your husband is in the village in Africa somewhere. That's the reality. Okay. So just saying I don't want anybody from village is not enough. If you think that's a strategy, you will still catch a Mongo Park you'll catch a Mongo Park in South Carolina regardless. Because you're not acquiring the right skills. They're everywhere. Okay. So whether their intention align with yours or not, you are able to unveil their intentions when you remain a student of active listening. Pick up books. I will find some books and recommend them around active listening. It's basically something that you will have to continue to become better, because the person you are actively listening to also tend to also become better at deceiving you. If they're truly deceiving you, they become even better at deceiving you, especially if you're stagnant and you're not growing and you just expect human beings to come and do good for you because you're a good person. Wala, 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 wala.
He shot you.
Oh Lord. I have some new sound effects here. I'm gonna test them out later on.
God have mercy upon us.
Hold on. What's our number one? Number 5 here. We got a number 5 here. Mario says it's a hobby.
God have mercy upon us.
Hold on. I need to stop that. Let's see here. It's a hobby and also a smart part of my job to understand scams. Oh, I see. Let's see here. Number 5, focus on emotional balance. Okay, so right now, if you've gone through this kind of thing that this young lady Clara has gone through, your emotions are probably raging. If you guys saw the session I did in the morning, the emergency session, I talked about hurt, anger, but also relief, right? When these kind of things happen, we can't pretend that we're surprised. Your subconscious mind will make you pretend for a little while until Ola calls you. Stop pretending. You knew this was coming. Stop acting like this person just flipped overnight and they just wanted to victimize just you. It could be that, but that's not the focus of your empowerment. Your focus of your empowerment right now is, how did you get so lost emotionally in this situation that you couldn't pick it up from the beginning? That's the focus. All right. So when emotions are running high, decisions are often driven by those heightened states. This is a time that you're going to make some decisions and they're just going to outrightly be the wrong decision. Why? Because emotions are running high. So calm down. It's time to learn some new things. It's easier said than done. It's very difficult. So you need support systems around this. Okay. You need support system, trusted friends, mentors. Okay. Can be highly helpful in this kind of situation. But a man who will literally walk out of the house because you confronted him about something that makes you feel unsafe, that's not a man. Okay. No, he's a man biologically, but he's not in this. He's definitely lost himself too, whatever that means. Maybe he lost himself because he's looking for the pali. Maybe he's found his pali, right? But then that means he lost himself into your household in the first place. Isn't that sad? Either way, right? That's not necessarily what you want. Okay, even if they come back, remember, like I said in the morning, they have to earn you back. You can't just be readily available to take them back. Okay, come back, prodigal son. You can't do that, because then you haven't learned anything. Okay, you at least have to, like I said, back off of that situation temporarily. Take a step back. How did you end up here? We need to at least extract the lessons. Okay, we need to at least extract the lesson. Does that make sense? Did you cover some bases today? Shout out to everybody that was here today. Let's do a quick recap of what we covered. Tip number 1. We're not too far back. I forgot to favorite them, so let's just count it down. Tip number 5, focus on emotional balance. All right. Tip number 4, enhance your listening skills. Not hearing skills. There's nothing wrong with your ears. Listening, active listening. Okay. Number 3, observe the energy exchanges. Right. Just be a little bit more aware of the kind of energy that you exchange with people, but reflect back, because that person is with this story now. That person is about to reflect back. What kind of energy were exchanged before? Is this like really just surprise? Or if it's really just surprise, then you should run as far away as possible from that person. Okay, that is not a good person. But if it wasn't a surprise, then there's more lessons for you to learn beyond just that they are an evil person. There's more to it. So Number two, strengthen your inner boundaries, sharpen your discernment capabilities. Number one, reclaim your narrative. I don't know how you want to tell this. Your story is your story, but your story the same story can be told in an empowering or in an endangering way. The same exact story can be told in an empowering or an endangering way. Make sure you're not endangering yourself and the people around you with the stories you've been telling yourself. All right. So that's all I have for you on this episode today. Tomorrow we have a session. Let me see. Let's do a quick teaser. Tomorrow we're going to be. I don't know what the story is, but it's a story nonetheless. We're going to be talking about another young lady that you're looking at, represented by the person on the screen. All right, so we'll come back and talk about that one tomorrow. Do me a favor, if you're getting a lot of value, we're rebuilding the platform again, because we want the right audience here, people that actually want to learn. It's what we want to be here, so that the algorithms can bring more of them. All right, so do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.
Hey Prestige fam, show some love to the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Are you in Europe, America, and struggling in your relationship? From argument to abuse and trust issues, we're here to help.
Lola and I founded Prestige Marriage Academy to transform your story. With 20 years of friendship, 17 years of marriage, experience with navigating the ups and downs of marriage, and personalized coaching, includes 24/7 support. Ignorance is expensive. WhatsApp us at +1 732 305 8577 to book a free discovery session today and take charge now.
Don't wing it.
Join us in creating the love life you deserve.